So was that honest enough for you? I'd say that was pretty damn honest. Hi everyone. This film is about the more difficult aspects of coming off lithium. So I've literally got hundreds of films on my YouTube channel. Bipolar, Lithium Carbonate, olanzapine, mental health in general. So if this kind of thing is something that you want to find out more about, please click the subscribe button. I'd also love for you to make comments on what it's been like for you coming off lithium. If you have actually withdrawn and completely gone to zero, what was your experience? I'd love to hear more in the comments below. I have actually already done a film on the great sides of coming off lithium, and that's just one half of it. This is the other side of it. So here goes for Jo in the raw, completely honest about what this process has been like. Where shall I start? So about a month and a half I haven't been on it. So that kind of chunk of time at the beginning of coming off lithium. At the beginning, I would say like the first 2 weeks, there wasn't a huge noticeable change to do with my feelings or sensations in my body. And I think that kind of feeling kind of took time to go away. You know how, well, if you're on lithium, you might not realise it, but for me, I felt like when I came off it, it was like a kind of a thin blanket or quilt had been lifted, that I could experience my feelings in my body as in a kind of sensational way, in a much more easy to connect to fashion. Lately, for example, the frustration of me staying at home all day with this Lyme's disease illness, not seeing anyone, spending a lot of time alone, for me is really difficult because I'm a very social person, and that's one of the reasons why I love doing this YouTube channel. Can you tell? Can you tell? I'm nervous about telling you this. I'm unsure. I'm unsure about telling you all this. It's probably more honest than I normally am with you guys. But yeah, sometimes I'll have like this quite fast visual image of me standing on the top of a mountain with no one around, just screaming, like just really, really screaming my heart out because I'm so frustrated. And it's not a positive scream, it's like a, you know, oh, horrible. So that's happened quite a number of times in the last month and a half. The other thing that has come out in much more kind of full force is this intense feeling of sadness. And I think that if I relay it back to like the rest of my life, for example, there were probably various moments in my life that meant that I might feel sadness in the past, for example, and then when you're on lithium, I feel like that sadness can't be felt, not fully, and that you might feel it a little bit, or like at the beginning, for example, when you're on olanzapine, all of that kind of, you get so suppressed and so sedated that you literally don't have any emotions, you don't have any sensations. So coming off that was brilliant, but I think that lithium probably has a little bit of that, even though it's not a sedating drug. So yeah, I would find it really hard to be able to pinpoint what that feeling or emotion was, and I'd literally tell my husband, I don't know what I'm feeling. I know that I feel really rubbish right now, but I don't know what it is. And that could have been to do with kind of vocabulary and verbalizing and getting used to that, really expressing myself with words, which I'm only just kind of learning how to do with non-violent communication methods, which is a course I've just been on, etc, etc. So what I wanted to try and say with all of that is that now that I'm not on lithium, I feel like I can deeply feel this intense sadness that kind of goes back a long way. And I feel like every time that I cry now, because I cry now a lot more than I ever have done in the past, and the crying could be like a whole hour long if I'm talking to my CBT man and, you know, I'm just kind of getting rid of it all. or it might just be 10 minutes in my bedroom or whatever, and just literally to kind of release old rubbish, release old crap, and just kind of get it out of where it's stuck in my body. And for me, it might seem, when you're living through it, a really difficult aspect of coming off lithium, but actually it's also a very positive aspect, because finally I'm getting in touch with what's really happening inside me, and that I can connect with it, and I can live it, I can feel it in such a way that I can open it up like a little package, delve inside, and then when it's all open and released, then you can just kind of let it go. Let it go, let it go. Da, 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 da. I've forgotten all the words. But yeah, it really is like that, and I feel like there's a lot more things and a lot more pain and a lot more healing and a lot more sadness that still needs to be let go of. And so I guess that's the process that I'm going through at the moment. Moving on to the emotion of anger. I would say that before coming off lithium, I never felt true anger. And if I did, it was so covered up and mutated into something else that I never expressed anger, really. Let me just think about this. So there would be times when I would maybe raise my voice with my husband, because you can with your loved ones, and I know it's not nice for them, but I would, but it wouldn't be very often, and it would only be when maybe I've held something in for ages and then I just kind of explode a bit. So I have been that kind of person very rarely in the past. Whereas now, I would say that my anger is coming out more often and in kind of not so intense bursts, probably because I'm doing it more frequently. Poor Robin, poor Heidi. So yeah, I'll raise my voice, or I'll have visual images again in my mind of me hitting a pillow or hitting a wall, or like running off in the distance, and just like running off my anger, or I don't know, that kind of thing. You get what I mean. And that's yeah, I never really thought anger was in there, but I suppose maybe 2 weeks ago I was kind of thinking about angry for being on lithium for 7 years, and that why didn't I do it sooner? You know, I could have come off this ages ago, and then maybe I wouldn't have chronic disease of Lyme's right now with a damaged kidneys or whatever. So I was angry about that. I was kind of feeling angry that, you know, I was on lithium for so long, I wasn't able to have a second child, and, you know, so that kind of emotion was coming back up, even though I thought I'd kind of dealt with that and put it back to bed. But, you know, once I thought about it and kind of dealt with it, then I feel like, again, it's newly gone and newly passed on, but I just had to kind of re-go through all of that to then come out the other side. Let's move on to another feeling. I suppose there's another feeling sometimes of disappointment in myself, that I didn't feel confident enough or brave enough or have the right knowledge and information to be able to come off lithium sooner. Why the hell did I wait 7 years? A whole Saturn cycle. I don't think that's a very strong one in me. I think at the same time I also say to myself, you know, you didn't know better before. You didn't know how to taper using weighing scales and kind of, you know, scratching down your pill, and it was literally because of me setting up this YouTube channel and you guys out there, my subscribers, giving me suggestions and tips, that made me get to this point of confidence where I could think, okay, even with really shit doctors in France and not getting really any support from the system here, I can still do it on my own. And so I guess that whole disappointment thing isn't there as much as sadness or anger. The other thing that was really difficult at the beginning, so for example, I took back my little box that kept all its pills in to the pharmacy, and she was like, okay, yes, I'll take those pills back and you know, dispose of them responsibly and not chuck them down the loo or in the bin or to go into landfill. I don't know how they do it, but they've got some way of doing it that's better. And I came out of there crying my eyes out, thinking, I'm not getting any recognition from anyone that I've done this most amazing thing, you know, that's taken me 3.5 months or whatever to taper. You know, I've done all of this and no one's thanking me, or no, not thanking me, but no one's saying, well done, Joe, well done. And I guess at that point I felt like I needed a well done. But then very quickly I was like, but Joe, hang on, you don't need a well done. You just need to know in yourself, kind of be grateful that you have achieved this yourself and you have empowered yourself to get to this stage where you can come off lithium carbonate. That quickly moved on and changed as well. My whole coming off lithium has been masked or like fudged over because it's gone straight into this other disease. That was kind of sad for me. And on another tangent, something else that's been tricky, spending all this time alone and things and having all these sensations and feelings to do with limes and coming off lithium at the same time, kind of that feeling of isolation that I feel like I'm the only one in this area where I live that's going through this kind of thing and there's no support groups. There are some people out there in my life that are supportive and they're just, for me, like a really listening ear, and I love that. And for me, that's probably the only thing I need, and the only thing that you would need probably if you're coming off lithium is just someone to be there to listen, you know, without judgment, without kind of thinking, oh, maybe she's going mad, or maybe we should worry if she's feeling this angry or this sad. You know, I just feel like it's just a stage that we have to work through and live through, and that in time more of that pain will just kind of dissipate and leave my system and detach from my body, so that I'll have more of this feeling of freedom where I'll be able to just go around with less of that old stuff kind of stuck inside, if that makes sense. So was that honest enough for you? I'd say that was pretty damn honest. So guys, if you're not a subscriber and you're still watching to the very end and you feel like you need support to do with mental health, to do with taking lithium, to do with olanzapine, then please subscribe to my channel, because I've got so much on here that might help you and guide you through this time of your life. Why don't you as well comment below with any of my honest points that you think, yeah, you know, this really touches me, or this means something to me, or I really just get that, you know. Then write about it and I'll respond. Don't forget to share to anyone you know that is going through struggles to do with mental health. They might be able to get something out of my channel and gain something new from all of my pearls of wisdom. So I'll see you again soon. Lots of love to you all. Bye.